He knows the Chambers brothers well. A lot of respect and friendship out there, and a little bit of banter flying around early as well. Tom Jones on the opening break. He makes a ball, and he's going to have the opening chance. It is not nice, but you get the sense that he will probably go for these. That's the sort of... They will be professional. They ultimately will try and win the game, but they can free up a touch in a sense of they're probably not going to be overly enamoured by tying it up and playing for their lives here. But that's the risk that you take in these third rounder matches. That's what can happen.
The layout looks bad, but it's actually not that bad because it's one shot to break it out. But that didn't really happen there for Tom. He didn't really get any action on the ball. He kind of just stuck into the pack. Needed to get a bit more bite on the ball, and then when it hits it, we'll just screw away a little bit. Have they opened it enough for it now to go? Obviously not now.
I think they have.
Or do they have to go back into it? We'll find out.
It looks... Oh, it does look tight, doesn't it?
It might go from low. Not sure if it goes from straight.
I feel like we're about to find out.
No, it's going to screw into it, I think.
Yeah, that'll tell us.
Yeah.
It's a lovely shot, but they're going to have another one to play here. Tom Jones Sr.
Yeah.
Needs a really good cue ball. That is a really good cue ball.
They need a better one now, though. That's the problem.
Yep.
Getting on this ball was one thing. Getting on it with a way to get on the 8 ball nicely was another. But that'll do.
What a shot. I tell you what, for a team that's out, this is a hell of a finish. Oh, they'll have that to hold on to tonight. That's a stunning out from Tom Jones Jr. and Sr. They'll be so disappointed not to be fighting for something in this final round of matches. But if you had any doubts as to whether they're going game and trying to win this match, they've just been dissolved. That was brilliant from the pair of them. Fantastic out. And John and Rob need a result here. Remember, they must win.
Yeah, it will come down to chances, though. You've got to believe you're going to get enough chances to win it. And, okay, they've been broke cleared on the first one. Nothing you can do about that. Can they take their opportunities? If they don't get enough, then so be it. But that's what they've got to believe.
John has been breaking so well tonight. So well.
Don't get the result they're after. But that red and yellow together, awkward. Very awkward, in fact. See them just coming together here, bottom right.
Do you have to go reds here just because of that?
No. But how do you... I was thinking, how do you go out for the finish here? I don't see how you open it up on yellows. Is there a loss of turn option on yellows? Probably not a great one. You can play the loss of turn, but where you're hiding the white. I think the finish is on reds because you've got the red in the triangle area, which is a good breaker ball. I don't see a good breaker ball on yellows.
Yeah, you could play the red off the red into the bottom corner with that ball.
Potentially.
You could also try and do something really funky, maybe play a 3-ball plant from up at the top of the table.
Just don't have the ball in a position to do that, certainly not easily. I was thinking, take the reds and then you land high on the one that's in the triangle area and you play into it off the bottom cushion. You have 2 options to left centre. And he's...
has he come up short?
Yeah, so he's trying to get to the right-hand side of those yellows because then that becomes a good angle to go into it. If he's not on it, it's no good.
No, he's playing the lower one because he is short. Oh, what a shot that is. What a shot that is. If that red falls... Oh, he deserved that red to fall. This is an unbelievable shot. Cue up that replay. He's played this off the red. That's a stunning bit of work. He deserved that red to fall. He doesn't. Can he make the double? No, he can't. Oh, deserved more with that shot.
Well, I think we now know where Tom Jones gets his vision from. That was pretty special, wasn't it? Just
fabulous.
Casually as you like, come up with an outright. And if that ball falls, and I mean, he wouldn't have been on it very nice, but that was very impressive choice of shot.
John won't be sucked into the sort of the nonsense, if you like, of that Tom Jones Sr. clearance. He'll have just been thinking, give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance. He's got one. Now be laser focus.
There's a sign of the grip you can get on the CPBA cloth we have out there. That was beautiful. Barely touched it and it just gripped. You can do a lot with the cue ball out there now on this cloth. Really is lovely to play on.
Yeah, we've heard reports as well after the sort of because it, you know, all the testing that goes on, and it is pretty stringent. You know, the real sort of test comes when you put it in the hands of hundreds of players and a little bit of volume. And when we had the first series and a national event with EPA at the weekend and all the rest of it, feedback seems to be that these Dynasphere balls play a touch, and we're talking a touch, heavier than the previous iteration. And when you combine that with the grippy cloth, you get a far more sort of tactile feel out there. Lovely finish from John Chambers. You see what I'm saying?
Well, a number of the players have talked about how much they love the cloth. A lot of the top players have talked about it being the best cloth they've ever played on, and I've heard nothing but positive feedback for the balls as well. And it's had the Chris Mellon seal of approval, of course, winning the Pro Series. He was very pleased with the conditions, and he'll certainly tell you if he's not. So it's had his seal of approval as well.
Yeah, I think it would be foolish to pretend there's a general consensus, because the way their design is going to spring up debate. Change is something that's always sometimes loved, sometimes not loved, and that can happen. I think sort of just pure aesthetics aside, from the way that they play, feedback has been pretty overwhelmingly positive. I won't pretend it's true about the way that they look. That will divide and has divided opinion.
Yeah, players don't necessarily like change unless it's a positive increase in prize money, and then they love the change. And that's all part. This is all the point, isn't it? And this is all part of it. So absolutely, yeah.
Big visits to the table coming up for Rob Chambers. If he's going reds, or when he was, opening up that one was very, very difficult. It's not now.
That was a tough layout to be taking on. It really was. That may have been one just to, I mean, maybe the situation, the fact you're 1-1, the match is already 8 minutes in, you're thinking, okay, I've got to really make it happen. But that was a tough layout. Would it have been better to just play the game, especially when you're playing against a player that's already eliminated and a player that's uber aggressive in Tom Jones? Could you have asked him to do something low percentage? You've given him a finish he should make. Now, the 8 ball being on the cushion means it's far from a certainty. But from Rob's perspective, it will be fortunate if he gets back to the table. Yellow plays quite big here, the one below the 8 ball. That's why he used the other yellow. If he plays that straight, he's below the yellow near right centre. Still thin though.
Oh, it wiped its feet. It wiped its feet, but in it falls.
I have no idea how that one's fallen in. I really have no idea. Would like to have his shot again. Half a match still to go, 2-1 behind. Back firmly against the wall here. They've got to find at least 2 frames and hang on. More likely more. And that will not help. That's the worst break of the night.
Yeah, almost a giggle from, well, definitely a giggle from John Chambers. There was a bit of one from Rob as well when he hit that. Scratch of the head. And John immediately couldn't hide his laughter. He's absolutely shanked that.
That may be the worst break he's hit for many a year. And that may be the worst shot that Tommy's played for many a year. How would you snooker yourself on every red on the table there? Yeah, that's quite impressive.
That's pretty spectacular. Can he recover? No. So a let-off, a huge let-off for Rob Chambers.
Those two yellows gone to a plant. If not, a little fortunate. No, they can be made. And there's an angle here to develop the yellow at the bottom. So actually a very genuine chance to make a clearance now. Oh, needed the double to get the angle. Felt he couldn't get the spin on to play it straight and go into it. Misses the double. Red by the 8 ball doesn't have a home here. Oh, it does, right centre.
Just shows the difference when they're playing with freedom and not pressure. Those sorts of shots just feel routine again for the Joneses. They weren't earlier. Those are the sorts of shots they were missing. I say they, it's probably a bit harsh on Senior. Lovely visit, lovely finish, and the Chambers boys are on the brink. It can go one of two ways, a match like this. You can play the Joneses and they might be defeated and they might feel a little hopeless and they might be a bit bereft. All of a sudden the match becomes very simple. Or they can completely free up, play without pressure and play their natural game, which is very, very good indeed, and that's what's happened.
They've had their chances though, haven't they? John and Rob have had their chances in this one, just haven't taken them. Maybe Rob was too aggressive. John there's missed a double.
But again, that's pressure versus no pressure. John and Rob have everything to play for in the night. Tom and Tommy have nothing to play for, and that dynamic changes the way the chances are presented to the pair of them. I mentioned it's freed them up. That's also the sort of shot that you miss when you play like that. It wasn't given its full respect by Tom Jones, and so it stays up. Big opening dig. Played it well.
Tell me that the red in the middle of the triangle goes, triangle area goes, play on it. But what are you going to be on afterwards? I just don't see you being on anything here. Got to power through the pack. It's too much work here.
It almost needs to finish at the top half of the table. And, well, how on earth do you get there? He's got a very, very thin cut.
I thought he was going to really try and push through those and give himself every opportunity. He went for more control. He was hoping the yellow just went an extra 2 rolls and he was on this red to top right, but he's only on it to top left, which makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes it much, much tougher pot. Cue ball's also flying around the angles too.
He's looking at it top right. He is looking at it that way, but not sure he can get to it. Cut back it is.
Pretty brilliant shot. He's going to need a few more.
Yeah, he may have to take this one to bottom left now, the one that's on the cushion, and that is really tough. Going this way around, I'm not sure I can get on the other red. Going into the yellow, taking all the control away.
It was so tough.
He wouldn't have been on the red anyway, had he made it. Looking at the overhead, the red I said you might as well take it bottom left there. It didn't go bottom left, so I had to go that way around. Easy to say from the commentary box, but as tough as they were, you know, there was more problems on yellows than reds, but the problem on reds was so big that it was just going to be very, very tough. Maybe John should have gone yellows and couldn't find a finish. Maybe one safety shot was going to be the way. And we get into a debate about the match clock and the situation.
Not going to be much debate here unless Tom Jones doesn't make this double, which he emphatically does, and gets a nudge on the 8. This match is over, and the Chambers are eliminated. Their journey in the Pairs Cup this season comes to an end, and the Joneses' journey ends on a high. They might be eliminated already, but they end it in style with a reminder of their massive talent. And now we go to a de facto group final. For a spot in the final 4, it's Parkin and Caulfield and Leary and Barker.